Happy New Year, team. I thought I'd just start off this year by going through some of the most anticipated horror movies that I am looking forward to this year. As you know, 2024 was one of the most banger years in horror, and honestly, 2025 is shaping up to be just as good. Now, obviously, these will mostly be like the big releases because indie releases tend to sort of sneak up on you. Or we only know if they're good by word of mouth usually, so we'll see what happens. But these are currently the movies I'm looking forward to most this year. First off the bat, Predator Badlands. Now, we know next to nothing about this film. The plot's quite under wraps. If you haven't seen Prey by Dan Trachtenberg, go do that now. I'll wait. Seriously, it's really good. A bit of SpookieKnights family trivia. I got my mum to watch this movie and she was like, holy shit, that was so good. That's how good Prey is. So if you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It's on Disney Plus at the moment. When I reviewed it, I said, I would love them to just do Predator in all different parts of history. It seems like that's what we're getting. Right, like we don't really know who's attached. I think Elle Fanning might be, but other than that, there's pretty much no word on it. But I'm a big fan of the Predator franchise. Dan has a stellar resume. He's done Prey. He did 10 Cloverfield Lane. He directed, I think he directed the pilot of The Boys. So I am very excited to see if he's able to pull a bit more magic out of the Predator universe because goddamn, was Prey just an absolute delight. And there's been talk about him and Fede Alvarez getting together and doing an Alien vs Predator movie, which, if that happens, I might die of excitement before it comes out. I'm very fucking excited for Predator Badlands. I'll be there day one for sure. 28 years later, it's been everywhere. Everyone's been talking about the shitty, like, Cillian Murphy zombie. Even though that's not him, it's been proven it's not him. The 28 series is one of my favorite horror franchises ever, and I'm not that much of a zombie guy, but I think 28 Weeks has one of the greatest opening scenes and brutal opening scenes to any horror movie of all time ever. Right? Like if you go fucking watch the open, I'm sure it's on YouTube. It's so good. It's so good and so dark and disturbing. I just love what this franchise does. And we've got Cillian Murphy, Danny Boyle, and Alex Garland returning, all who have, since the original, have gone on to have stellar careers. You've got Cillian obviously doing stuff like Peaky Blinders and Oppenheimer. Alex Garland doing Annihilation and Civil War most recently. Danny Boyle doing T2 and 127 Hours. Like, all of them have made names for themselves in the industry, and they're all sort of returning to their roots. I'm very excited. It's about a group of survivors who have gotten through the brunt of the rage virus by living on an island. One of them decides to go and find answers, and it seems to have like a bit of a government conspiracy vibe. That's the vibe I'm getting from the trailer. Which plays perfectly into Garland and Boyle's wheelhouse. Honestly, I just love it when the band gets back together, and this is the band that made one of the greatest zombie movies of all time, or two of the greatest zombie movies of all time. So I'm really excited to see if like the spark is still there, and also if all the stuff they've learned since making the original is going to make this even better. Right? Like, is this movie going to be better because they've gotten better at their craft? That is one of the big questions around this movie. I hope so. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty confident in this fucking team. Plus, it's got Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Ralph Fiennes in it, who I love those dudes. I'm very excited for this to come out in June. I will probably be there day one. Who doesn't love the rage virus zombies? The fucking scariest zombies. The zombies in this movie are the scariest zombies for me. They terrify me. They're so fucking scary. They're not slow and bumbling. They sprint and they're angry. I just love it. Bring on June. Wolfman, put some fucking respect on Lee Winnell's name. There has been so much bullshit around this movie, from like the changing of cast and like people freaking out over that like awful haunted house nights costume that appeared online. It's like people have forgot this guy wrote the original Saw. He wrote Upgrade. He wrote The Invisible Man. Dead Silence, if you like that. He directed Dead Silence. Like, the man makes fucking bangers. And I think he's earned a little faith from us as horror fans, at least until we see the movie, right? Like, I'll be as devastated as anyone if this movie doesn't pan out. But I will never slag a Leigh Whannell movie before I've actually fucking seen it. That is crazy to me. What an insane... I can't believe the amount of hate that's been going on about this movie. Like, at least wait until the movie's out. God damn, this fucking Saw. Yeah, I can't believe how shitty people have been about this movie. Now, I am desperate for a serious take on werewolves. I absolutely love werewolves. Most werewolf movies you get are they're either horror comedies or they're like teen drama sort of things. I mean, we had some action ones that have been okay. I want like a full, scary, serious werewolf movie. Given that Julie Gardner and Christopher Abbott are in this, I have pretty high hopes. I'm fucking excited for it. And it's also like a week away, which means that, at least in Australia, I don't know how it is in the US, but in Australia, that means we've got Robert Eggers' Nosferatu and Leigh Whannell's Wolfman all in the same month. Like, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Fucking Halloween costume makers must be jizzing their pants thinking of all the fucking stuff that's coming out this year. And realistic, like, Blumhouse, come on, man. Like, we need a big win. As one of your biggest fans, we need a win here. Fucking Night Swim and Imaginary, we need to get one back. So I got full faith in Leigh though, and I'm excited to see what they do here. I'm hoping it's a fucking terrifying werewolf movie, so fingers crossed. Next up, we got Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. So Maggie just called up her brother Jake and was like, hey man, do you want to like remake one of the greatest horror stories ever told in The Bride of Frankenstein? And it seems like he responded, okay, but only if my friend Christian Bale gets to tag along. Christian Bale and Jake Gyllenhaal, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. They're remaking The Bride of Frankenstein. And it's set in a Chicago 1930 setting. I don't care if your days of joining the Black Parade are behind you. That should cause a little twinge in your little goth heart if it's still there, right? Like, I am so fucking excited. It comes out in September and I'll be there day one in my Emily the Strange backpack and with my hip top. Like, I'm fucking excited for this movie, man. God, Jake Gyllenhaal and Christian Bale together just makes me so goddamn excited. I love it. I'm hoping it has sort of Pale Blue Eye vibes, because I know not everyone loved that movie, but I really like that movie. And like, goth Christian Bale, let's fucking go. Let's full send. Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. I'm so excited. I can't wait for September. Very fucking pumped. Anyone who's been following this channel will know that this was of course going to be one of my most anticipated. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It's Del Toro. Enough said. One of my favorite, possibly my favorite, now I think about it, just in terms of like how much I love his movies. Director of all time. Like, he's one of my favorite horror directors. He's like horror's sweet Mexican dad. I just fucking love him. Also, this is like the most stacked cast ever in a horror movie. Like, look at this fucking cast, right? It is insanity. You've got Ralph Ineson, who I can only assume was gifted his voice by a Norse god of some description for some feat in battle. Like, I would pay really, really good money, Ralph, if you're listening, to listen to this man read a dictionary. He's got the golden voice. You've got Mia Goth in there, fucking crazy, spooky Victorian ghost Mia Goth. Oscar Isaac and Christoph Waltz as crazy scientists, which if you've seen Inglourious Bastards, or if you've seen Ex Machina, they play the crazy sort of bad guy roles fucking brilliantly. You got David Bradley. Yes, Professor Filch is in this. Like, what more do you need? Jacob Elordi, homegrown Aussie hunk. Jacob Elordi is playing the monster. This movie's budget is probably the same as a small country's GDP, but I'm all about it if Del Toro is taking the helm. To be honest, like I'm so excited. He's the perfect man to make gothic like designs. I fucking love his Hellboy movies. I love Pan's Labyrinth. I love everything he does. He's the best. And if this year we've got a Dracula movie, unofficial Dracula movie from Robert Eggers. We've got a Wolfman story from Lee Winnell. We've got a Frankenstein story from Maggie Gyllenhaal and Guillermo del Toro. Like, if all of them hit, this might be one of the greatest years ever for classic movie monsters. Like, I'm talking of all time. Of all time. Like, single year, 4 hitters. I am like, I'm fucking, get blood and corsets. I'm all about it. Let's fucking go. I'm so goddamn excited. I'm so goddamn excited for this goddamn movie. So Sinners, this is probably the most interesting movie on this list. This is a southern US monster movie set in the 1930s that follows a pair of African brothers who have returned to their hometown only to find that it is set upon by evil on all sides, basically. You can sort of get the vibe of what the evil beings are going to be, but I'm not going to spoil it because I know lots of people. I, most of the time, don't watch trailers, but I decided I was going to make this, because I'm making this video, I would just dive in, at least watch the teasers. So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's looking very fucking interesting. The thing that excites me most about this is that Michael B. Jordan is the main star, and apart from being the devilishly handsome bastard that he is, he's also a fantastic actor. And given Ryan Coogler is the director who, Fruitvale Station, the Black Panther series, he has written it and he is directing, and when those two work together, like, Killmonger is such a fucking good villain. People love that dude. So I'm excited to see what they do in the horror space. I also love seeing when big actors jump over to the horror space. I think Michael B. Jordan is one of the biggest actors. So I'm very excited. It also, I love Southern horror, especially set around this period of time. One of my favorite comic series of all time is called Moonshine. It's like a Southern werewolf series set in like the Prohibition times. It's got like, there's mafia, there's bootleggers. It's fucking great. If you like horror comics, I highly recommend Moonshine. But this movie, at least the trailer, gave me those vibes. So I'm very excited when April rolls around to see what this is like. I fucking love Southern horror. It looks so fucking good. We're spoiled. We're spoiled for choice this year. We're spoiled for choice. I'm fucking pumped. It's going to be such a good year of horror. My most anticipated film this year is The Monkey. This is the perfect horror recipe for me, right? Like, so wrap your little noggin around this. It's written by Stephen King. It's directed by Osgood Perkins, who did Longlegs and The Black Coat's Daughter. It's produced by James Wan of Conjuring and Insidious fame. It's produced by his production company, Atomic Monster. And it's starring Elijah Wood. I don't know if someone made some sort of Faustian pact to get this movie made. Like, I don't know how they got all these people to collaborate. It's fucking perfect for me. Like, if you were like, hey Jake, have $1 billion and make a film, it would be roughly this team. So if you didn't, whoever sold their soul to the devil to get this movie made, I appreciate you, and just know that your sacrifice was worth it. Maybe not for you, but for me, it definitely was. And we don't even have to wait that long. Like, it's coming out. I'm pretty sure it's coming out in February this year, which start of the year horror, it's sort of hard because, you know, by the time the award season runs around, lots of people forget about what came out at the start of the year. But Brahma Yugam came out last year, start of the year, and it fucking slapped. Same with First Omen. So I think this will be one of those. I really have high hopes for it. It's about two brothers who basically find their dad's old, like, you know, in Toy Story, the creepy cymbal monkey. Yeah, they find one of those in the attic of their dad's house. And when they do, people start dying of suspicious circumstances. Great fucking plot, no notes. That monkey's creepy as shit. You know, Osgood does such creepy, atmospheric horror. I think this is going to be a banger. I haven't read the short story by Stephen King, but I absolutely adore Stephen King. So I'm hoping this is great so we can get more collabs between Perkins and King. I just love when like super teams get together. Same as like great fucking bands when like super bands are formed. I'm hoping this is good. Fuck me. But this is my most anticipated film this year, which is hilarious because Longlegs was last year. So Osgood will be 2 for 2 if he nails this one. But yeah, 2025, it's shaping up to be another banger year in horror. Obviously, horror has proven time and time again that it's the genre that can make the most money repeatedly. It's constantly doing consistent work. 2024 is one of the best years we've ever had in horror. I'm hoping 2025 follows suit. Let me know what horror you're looking forward to this year. There's a shit ton coming down the pipe. There's a shit ton of games too coming out this year. I feel like this is just going to be a super year. If you're a little content gremlin like I am, if you love playing games and fucking watching movies, I feel like you're going to be set this year. Let me know what you're looking forward to this year. Let me know what you're most stoked for. There's even some good Lovecraftian games coming out, like Sinking City 2, The Ritual Wave, I think it's called. Anyway, I'm fucking pumped. Let me know what you're pumped for. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week for another review. Peace.